Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Home Solutions. Happy Saturday. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Dennis Purvis with you here in the Mix 1041 studios for Pro 93 Home Solutions, your local home and garden show. And today I have got a treat for you. Ladies and gentlemen, right here in studio with me, my partner in crime, one of the co-owners of Pro 93 Home Solutions. Listen, we have not been able to keep up with all the requests, the emails, the tweets from his last appearance on here. I had to get him out of the field and back on the radio. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. David Pinkard.
Good morning, everybody. It's good to be here and look forward to this show today. Just talk to the community and once again, just see what we can do to kind of help everybody out. David,
good to see you. Good to have you. So today's show, we want to do something a little different. We want to talk a little bit about some things that we see most often, some common questions we get from customers, jobs maybe we go behind, some DIY projects going horribly wrong.
Absolutely.
Right? So no better person. David's been doing this kind of work for 30 years. I'm dating him with that, but he started very young. That is legit. He started young.
Yes, I did.
And listen, don't sleep on that doctorate, ladies and gentlemen. He truly is Dr. David Pinkard. We joke a lot that we will put our credentials up against any other contractor in town. We've got the student loans to show it for.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, which is why we need all the remodels you've got. Give us a call. And before we get started, just to let you know a little bit about what we do. Pro 93 Home Solutions, we are everything from handyman to full remodel. We also have a clean team. Our cleaning crew, headed by Miss Wendy, she does a fantastic job of taking care of our recurring clients. Whether you need a one-time clean, you want a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly service, we would love to come out and give you an estimate for whatever it is. So whether it's a leaky toilet or maybe you're just tired of the whole bathroom. You know, we got a call from someone yesterday. I bought this house in 1989, and my wife pointed out to me that the bathroom looks like it was built in 1989 with all the style components to go with it. You know, the trapezoidal showers. Yeah. Oh, those are nice, huh? His exact words were, you know, you can't dry off without getting water everywhere because there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, there you go. That was all the rage. You put a few of those in, I'm sure, back then, didn't you? The trapezoidal, weird, decorative standalone showers.
I'll neither confirm nor deny that I ever had anything to do with those kind of projects.
Until they become so cool and retro, they come back.
Yeah, I don't know that some of that stuff is ever coming back.
Or needs to, that's for sure.
It probably doesn't need to come back.
But listen, anything that you need, we do free estimates, obviously. We serve the listening area. For all those that are listening on the radio right now, maybe you've got tuned in, you're streaming online, or maybe you're on the Mix 1041 app, give us a call, 458-4135, or look us up online, pro93homesolutions.com. You can take a look on there. So we're going to go through some scenarios today. And, you know, we've talked about the bathroom. So let's start in the bathroom. David, one of the things that you, in your experience, not just at Pro 93, but over the years, what are some of the common, what are ways for folks that are listening right now? Maybe they're thinking about redoing stuff. Maybe they're DIYers. They want to try some of this stuff themselves. What's one of the easiest ways or simplest ways people can spruce up and improve the look of their bathrooms?
I think probably two of the most common ways to spruce up a bathroom would be, and probably the most economical, is going to be painting the bathroom and new flooring. And fixtures. You can add new fixtures. Some simple things like that that'll kind of bring it up to date and make it look a little newer.
And let's give you a couple little tips. You heard him talk about flooring. We had Seth from Value Flooring in a couple weeks ago. They do a fantastic job, a lot of selection. Folks, there's a lot of real good flooring out there right now. Waterproof flooring, LVP, like true vinyl plank, that is waterproof, not just water resistant, because all that laminate is at some state water resistant. Yeah. But the true vinyl is waterproof.
Yeah, now I'm always very hesitant to call anything waterproof because water always wins. But I think the LVP and the LVT is probably the closest to it. I have people, and I promote it a lot on our jobs. A lot of people ask me, would you put it in your home? I said, it's in my home, and I'm going to do the rest of my home in it. So the answer is yes. I think it is a really good product, and somebody like Value Flooring that we've had a really good relationship with, they are good people that you can go and talk to, and they're there to help you.
And they're local.
Yes.
That's the other thing. They're local. You're not paying a big box store surcharge, or getting somebody you're not sure if they know what they're talking about or if they can help you. Go in there and give Tommy and Seth and Cecily, give them a shot. Other places in town, Flooring Center here in town, we've done with. They do great selection. Folks, it's about finding a price point that works for you. And I can tell you, paint and flooring are one of the best ways. But let's give you a little tip. If you're doing paint and flooring, you paint first.
No. Just go ahead and put the floor down and then paint over the floor. That always works really well.
And talking about fixtures. Now, one thing, we've had Josh with Wholesale Supply on before, and we've talked about this in the past. But when you're buying fixtures, there is a difference in the fixtures you're going to buy at a place like Wholesale Supply versus a big box store. Even though you may be looking at the same brand and what you think is the same style, and you're like, well, why is this over here at Wholesale Supply $50 more or $70 more? Trust me when we tell you that they may be both Delta, for example, or a Kohler product, but they're not even made at the same factory. The inside components of a lot of the stuff that you're going to buy, you're like, oh, I can't believe this only costs this. Well, that's because the inside is plastic.
Yes.
The parts, the components, and if anything breaks, you're not replacing a part. You're replacing the whole faucet. I can promise you the stuff you're going to buy, the upscale that you think is it worth paying that? David, am I wrong that it is worth every penny because you're looking at a 10-year to 15-year faucet versus a 3 to 5 year faucet?
Yeah, and I think that's part of the question you have to answer for yourself is, they always say you either pay up front or you pay down the road. So the real idea behind that is, what is your budget? What do you want to spend? But if you want something that's going to have metal parts that are on the inside that's going to last longer, you're talking the difference of a lot of times 25, 30 years difference in the part. So then the $50 doesn't really seem to be that big a deal. But once again, it just really boils down to what do you want to spend? So,
yeah, and so moving from the bathroom, next area, right? Kitchens and bath cell houses. So let's go to the kitchen. Fixtures, same sort of thing we're going to talk about here. One of the things we've run into lately is drains, clogged drains, slow drains. Folks, if you've got a garbage disposal, you want to make sure that it is plumbed correctly.
Yes.
And that's something that we literally can a lot of times just give you visually. That's not something you even have to dig into. We can look at it and say, okay, we just had a customer recently who had a slow drain. We get down in their basement to see where the drain goes and realizes that the house was built, I believe, in 2005, but the pipe going to their clean out was stamped 2012. And one of our plumbers says, this obviously has been a problem before. And they didn't fix the problem. They Band-Aided the problem. They patched it. Professionally done. It was done. It was not that it was done incorrectly, but they put a Band-Aid on a problem and didn't solve the problem. Yeah. So 7 years later, 9 years later, customers dealing with the same issue. And this was an issue of just something, garbage disposal, kind of backwards the way it needed to be, and also the way they did the trap. Folks, these aren't super expensive fixes. And for some of you that are out there, especially if you've got any experience with PVC or PEX, a lot of plumbing is one of those things, David. I remember growing up with my dad soldering pipe. That's one thing that technology, you think, well, how can you really improve on running water? But with the new PEX and the shark bite and crimp, snap-on, push-on connectors, plumbing is something that small problems folks can really handle themselves sometimes.
Yeah, I think they can. Just as long as you make sure you're getting the right connections and you put them on. And a lot of times when you go to the different, even the box stores, they generally have somebody, pretty much knows that can help you out to find some of those connections you need. Talking about, different types of piping systems they've used in the past, copper is probably the most timeless. The thing about copper is that you can add the push connect straight to the copper. They're made to fit straight onto that and to be able to go to PEX. CPV does that too, but CPVC is very brittle. It's something we try to move away from and use PEX. But the one thing that I always cringe when I see, and I know that's a problem, I know you have.
Can I guess? Galvanized pipe.
Galvanized pipe. And I know people don't want to hear it, but if you have water problems and you have galvanized pipe, that's what it is.
And folks, it's very simply sediment. We have hard water here.
It's rust. Those pipes rust.
Yeah,
bad.
we have hard water. We think because we live next to the Cherokee National Forest. I mean, to be honest with you, I thought that for years when I moved here. Oh, well, we get our water from some fresh mountain spring. Well, that may be, but that spring's got a lot of different not chemicals, but minerals, things that are going to accelerate the rusting process.
Yeah.
And how many times have we cut out galvanized pipe that you can't see light through the other side?
I'll put it to you this way. If most people were to cut their galvanized pipe right now and actually saw what was in it and realize what they were drinking, they'd
what
be
they
like,
were cooking with, what they were brushing their teeth.
Yeah, they'd be like,
what you're washing your clothes in. Folks, listen, and if that's getting too in the weeds for you and your ability level, give us a call.
Absolutely.
Pro 93 Home Solutions. We'd love to help you out with it. Again, free estimates. We're licensed, bonded, insured. We've got, well, counting David, 3 of the best folks in town to take a look at what you've got going. We would love to bring you out of the galvanized, bring you out of the metal age and into the PEX age, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. I can tell you, you'll have more trouble getting the galvanized out than you have getting the PEX in.
Yeah, and that's the thing about PEX is, 10 years ago when it first came out, well, it's longer than that now, but even 10 years ago, putting in PEX was, pretty expensive. But now, it's become the standard, so the price on it has dropped significantly. So it's when we do stuff, it's always pretty much what we recommend. Not only that, but, it's the one thing we know we can warranty that's going to stand up to the test of time. So
and that's a good point. David brought up the warranty. We do offer a 1-year workmanship warranty on pretty much everything we do. There are times, because something may be so far gone or something was pre-existing, where we will tell you and give you something in writing and say, this is one part we can't warranty because of the shape it was in when we got here. Sometimes it's just too much of a cost. Sometimes it's worth living with, I guess is the best way to put it for some folks.
Yeah, and if I could say something about that is, just kind of from my perspective, and those of you that may meet me when I come out to look at your house or something, the first thing I always tell people is we're here to help them do their project.
Yes.
Our goal is not just to make money. We want to develop relationships, develop lifetime customers. And when I say we want to help them complete their project, the idea is, when you see the estimate, it's the worst case scenario. It's what it takes to fix everything that you want to fix. And if you have sticker shock and it's outside of your budget, we are the company that says, all right, how can we work with you? How can we help you? We have all these different options like the financing that you can go to our website for. What can we do to help you? That's our goal.
Yeah. And it's part of our mission as a company is to not only create a culture of care, not just for, our contractors and our company, but also in our community. So it's, and we're your neighbors, man. We our kids go to school here. We raise our families here. We go to church here. I mean, this is our community. We want to make sure you're not dodging down once we can go to grocery stores again, that you're not running down the frozen food aisle to try to avoid us because you see us coming around.
Yeah, I get 2 questions out in the field that surprise me. Or not surprise me, but one is, are you local? And I'm like, yes, we're local. We live here. We go to, all the things that you just said. But the other funny thing is everybody either thinks I'm you, and they say, hey, I saw you on the radio the other day. And I'm going, 1, how'd you see me on the radio? 2, they had to be talking about Facebook, the video that shows with it. But I'm going, no, that's my business partner. So evidently we must look a lot alike.
Well,
I
listen,
don't know.
For those of you that are trying, we'll wave to the Facebook world out there. But just know I'm the younger, prettier one. And David is the professional. I
am the pro in Pro 93.
And we mean it. David is the pro in Pro 93. Listen, we're up against it. We're going to take a break here real quick. We come back, we'll talk a little bit more about some of the things we can do to help you out and give you some more tips for making that home or garden shine. You're listening to Home Solutions right here, Mix 104.1 and 101.3 The Buzz. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well this Saturday morning. This week weather was a little crazy. I was either freezing to death with 15 to 20 degrees in the morning, or I was in shorts and a T-shirt on Tuesday and Wednesday, which was kind of crazy.
That was pretty much all in one day. So.
I forgot. We're in Tennessee. That was all in one day. You can see all 4 seasons right here in beautiful Bradley County, Tennessee. Dennis back here with you in the Mix 104.1 studios. Thank you for joining us, sticking with us here at Home Solutions. You got David, my business partner, here with me. We're co-owners of Pro 93, and we just we wanted to do a little show today to kind of talk about some things we see out on job sites, some of the things that kind of common questions we get, and tips and things we can give you. David talked about this right before we went to break, but one of the things we're excited about with Pro 93 is that we now offer financing. A lot of folks, especially right now with the pandemic, you're sitting in a house that it's one thing when you only got to see that kitchen or bathroom for a few hours a day when you get home from work and on weekends. But now that we're all pretty much stuck in it, it may be time to make some changes, make some upgrades, and maybe financing can stand in the way. But we do offer financing through Hearth. It's you can go to our website right now, pro93homesolutions.com. Click on the financing tab. You can even we've got a payment calculator on there to kind of show you what you would be looking at for a dollar amount if you've got in your head. And so, David, right before we left, you talked about us. You talked about what the things we want to tell people. We're here for you. Yeah. And one of the things I like to tell them all the time is, because they'll ask us, is this weird, or would that be okay? And I'm like, ma'am, I don't have to live in your house. You do. Yeah. Listen, as long as it's not a safety violation or a code violation that would affect our insurability or our license, you're the customer. We have painted some weird rooms.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. There's a customer out there right now listening. She knows who she is. Yeah. Purple, pink, blue, and metallic silver in one room. Pink, purple, blue, and metallic silver in one bedroom. You know who you are. She's giggling right now. I guarantee you she's giggling right now. But listen, again, it's...
and by the way, we do have the pictures to prove that.
Yes. That was what we kept for blackmail material. And listen, don't be afraid if you want to paint your walls something other than gray.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know that we've painted any walls anything but gray or a shade of... Has it surprised you as long as you've painted? Because I know painting is where you started in the trades. And to watch colors, how they come in and out of fashion. It's so weird to me how it just suddenly it becomes what everybody asks for.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's weird. I guess because it is what I have done so much of in the past. I've just seen it come and go. I do think, though, that some of the colors that have been fashionable just blow my mind. I'm like, how in the world was that color?
Yeah.
And for a while it was, some neon colors that for some people, for some reason, people would do an accent wall in a neon color or some crazy blue or some crazy green. And it's like, you know what? And I know this sounds crazy, but yellow was really big. And you'd walk in a house and the whole house would be yellow.
Oh, yeah.
And just thinking back, it's like,
oh yeah,
that's just really yellow.
Man, and I'll be honest with you. I am, there's reasons sometimes stereotypes are stereotypes. I'm a stereotypical male in the sense that unless it's been crazy neon, I don't think I've ever walked into a room and went, oh, I really like that bone color beige they have up there. That's a beautiful off-white you have, right? And but I will tell you this. For those of you out there thinking about painting and you're thinking about resale, here's the cool thing. Painting is one, and you can talk to your realtors about this. Putting a fresh coat of paint, especially on the outside of your home, is one of the most cost-effective things you can do to get some curb appeal.
Yeah.
Now, folks, we're in a real estate market right now, where and stay tuned because the real estate show's coming on in just a few minutes right behind us. But I'm telling you, if it's got 4 walls and a roof, it's selling right now. All right,
yep.
It is every bit of a seller's market. So if you're thinking about how to get your money, maybe you're looking and say, man, the market's hot. It's time for me to downsize or to move up. I want to sell the home I'm in. One of the questions we get over and over is, hey, I want to go ahead and do this. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to call the realtor. And folks, I'm going to tell you, the response you're going to get from Pro 93 is almost every time when you tell me that is, hold on. And I tell folks, I will take any money you're going to give us. We'll do any job you want us to do. But if you're going to sell this home, talk to your realtor first.
Yeah.
Find out what matters in your market because, folks, it can matter from neighborhood to neighborhood, what's selling and what's not. And if you're not going to get dollar for dollar on that, why would you do it? You could make just enough money not doing anything. And I understand that that's not in maybe our economic best interest in the short term. But part of it is I feel like being honest with you and treating your house like it's mine. You're going to buy another house. You're going to have some issues. You're going to have some projects. And I want to be the person you call when you do that and know that we're going to be honest with you.
I have literally seen people spend $50,000, $100,000 in a home that made absolutely no difference to it.
No.
And
absolutely.
You're
absolutely right.
You have to know where to spend the dollar to make it count. And you're exactly right. It's your realtor for your area is going to be the person that can best tell you to put your money where it counts.
Which is a great segue again for the real estate show coming in just a few minutes right here on Mix 104.1 and 101.3 The Buzz. Now, to that said, talk about things that spruce up curb appeal. We're a home and garden show too. Folks, cut your lawn, trim the bushes. There are some great...
I don't know. You pull up to a house that's grown over like a forest and everything, and it's like, hey, I want to go in there and take a look. Yeah.
That doesn't look sketchy at all.
No.
The only thing missing is free candy spray painted on the side of the house. No, listen, it's curb appeal. The first impression when someone pulls up, you're already influencing what they're going to see on the inside if the outside looks good. One of the things we can do to help you with that you may not feel comfortable, it's not a big DIY project though, is windows. I will tell you, if you don't have vinyl, the double paned, newer insulated gas-filled windows, those do make a difference in your sales price because if you pull up and you've got the old aluminum windows, when somebody buys that house, that's one of the first things they're going to do is change those windows out.
Yeah.
And folks, a lot of that is just the technology. And windows are they're not cumbersomely expensive like they used to be.
Right.
Technology's better.
Yeah.
The way they construct
Speaking
them.
about that,
yeah.
Probably the oldest house that I've ever remodeled, it was 104 years old. It was down in the Chattanooga area, and we replaced the windows in it. And this is how technology has changed. And some of you out there may remember this. Some of you are going, what? But I remember as a kid, we used to cut them out of houses and make boat anchors out of them. There's these big, huge lead, and for those of you that can see, those big lead weights that hung on the side of them with the rope that when you push the window up, they would go down, and that was what would hold the window up. I mean, just think about how much the technology has changed and how much more, efficient that the windows are today.
And, I actually asked, we had a presentation from one of our vendors last year, and they were talking about, these are argon gas-filled windows. And I'm like, are they really? Can you prove to me there's some gas in there? Because you're telling me it's clear. That's like saying, see this? Look what's in my hand. It's my invisible friend, right? You can't disprove that I have an invisible friend. You can't disprove a negative. So it's, but folks, when you look at the energy efficiency alone and the heat and the cooling that you're either gaining or losing because of your windows, it's absolutely not only, and whether you're selling a house or staying in it, if you're staying in it, it's one of the smartest decisions you can make, because you are every single month, you are going to recoup something because you changed the windows.
Yeah.
Period. You upgrade to just, and look, we give everybody an option typically is a good, better, and a best window to give them some price points to look at. But I can tell you, it's, we had Tom in here from Pioneer Metal. They also do windows. We've had them in there. We've had Pella in here in the past as people on the show. Folks, there's some great folks here locally that make an affordable window. We would love to come out and give you a quote and see if we can put some in for you. But if you're looking for a way to save money, you're going to spend money to save it. Windows and doors. Folks, we just did a really nice house here in town in a really nice neighborhood. And we were redoing some tile in the kitchen and pulled up subfloor damage, rotten subfloor in front of some French doors that go out to their deck. Well, folks, that wasn't from any other reason than the patio doors over time break down. Any door does. And we had to replace subfloor before we could put tile on top of it. And look at your doors. If the jambs are eaten up, if there's rot at the bottom, and David, weather stripping, maintaining your weather stripping, that's stuff anybody can buy. You can buy that at Walmart.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you can.
Just checking that stuff out is stuff maintenance you can do to keep you from getting into doors.
Yeah, and weather stripping is not a difficult thing to change out. It's something you just pull it out and put it right back in. So yeah, it's not a big deal. And
listen, here's the nice thing: when doors do get that far gone, if you've been looking for a way to update the look of your home, when they get that far gone, folks, it's just as cheap. You're going to pay us as much labor to try to work on that woodwork as to take the door out and put a whole new pre-hung door in.
Yeah.
The way doors are now. So, folks, we hope we've helped you out a little bit here today. David, thanks for coming in today, man.
I was glad to be here. Glad to get to speak to everybody out in Radio Land today.
And listen, get on our Facebook page, hit us up on Twitter and Instagram, slide into our DMs, talk about how much you love having David on here. I can't get him on here very often, but we need to get him on here more. Folks, hope everybody's doing well out there. Stay safe. Stay tuned. Real Estate Show's coming right behind us. You're listening to Dennis and David today from Pro 93 right here on Home Solutions on Mix 104.1 and 101.3 The Buzz.